What am I doing? I'm dead lost again. I played horribly in the opening and now I'm getting destroyed in the middle game. Maybe I should just resign and call it a day. Wait. It might not be over just yet. All I have to do is just complicate this position a bit more, and then maybe he just might blunder. Whatever. I'm just gonna push and pray.
What's up everyone, Video Master Hari here, and today I'm going to show you how you can turn completely lost positions into draws or even wins using the swindler mentality. Now, I've used the swindler mentality or swindling mindset in my games, and I've managed to turn completely losing positions into wins and draws against all rated players, higher and lower rated players. Now, a lot of people, when they think of swindling, they think of, complete miracles of luck, and they really don't think that they're the reason that they won or drew the game when they're completely losing. But that's not actually the case. When you swindle your opponent, you're forcing them to make an error. And how do you make this error? You make these errors by complicating the position and by exploiting their overconfidence. Now, before any of this even matters, we first have to believe that we can win our game. Because a lot of times after we blunder and we realize that we're completely lost, we just give up, I've been there multiple times. I'm just staring at the board. I'm like, damn, should not have done this. But I just give up. And I'm like, yeah, there's no point in playing, right? I mean, he's going to completely crush me. I have no chance. But the first step is we have to go to the bathroom. We have to completely reorganize all of our thoughts. And we have to make sure that the only thing we're focused on is winning or trying to come back from this game. It's not going to happen 100%, but with this mentality, you're going to save a lot of points, a lot of half points, a lot of rating points in the future, because you're going to have the resiliency to fight back, and you're going to have that mindset to start complicating this position and start clawing back to the way to the win. Now, I'm going to show you one of my games where I thought I was completely busted, and I managed to claw back all the way using the swindler's mindset. So in this game, I was playing quite a strong opponent, and the game started off with the French defense. Now, this is more of a sideline, but it's supposed to be pretty solid. And I already messed up in the opening here. You can kind of see how all of his pieces are kind of just pinning all my pieces. And after something like Bishop E3, I'm in very big trouble. I can't even take because Queen takes and all of the pieces are coming to the party. And it's a big struggle for me to do anything. So I decided to get rid of one of the pieces that was pinning all my pieces so that I could castle. And at this point, I already thought I was completely losing, which was close to right. I mean, white's a lot better here with the bishop pair and with a lot of space with this e5 pawn covering up a lot of space. With this f4 move, I haven't even developed my dark squared bishop, and he's ready to castle and ready to start attacking my king, which is very weak here. With the bishops, he can easily go into an endgame, play into rook on d6, and it's a nightmare for me to defend. So, I was already thinking, this game is over. I'm just going to try my best to defend, but that's what I tried to do. I tried to complicate this position as much as possible. So I was just playing very fast at this point. After the opening, I spent a while thinking, but then after I realized I was completely lost and I completely messed up the opening, I started to play very fast. I just wanted to get this position as complicated as possible so that my opponent does not have an easy time in winning this game. And that's exactly what I've tried to do here with this move, a5. Now, a5 looks like a crazy move. Why can't you take this? Well, then I have bishop a6 and I'm winning the queen. At least that's one good thing that happened. But that sadly didn't happen. And, any other move they play, if like queen a3, I'm going to have bishop a6. I'm holding everything together. And you can already see here, it's a little bit more complicated than it was before. But they play queen e7, infiltrating. And at this point, it's very difficult to play as black. So I had to start making some moves. So I played b takes, opening up the b file. Rook f d1, rook b8, attacking on the b file. Rook d2, and I played rook b5 to try to go rook d5. Blocking off this critical d file. So all my pieces can come into the party and, try to do something useful. So after rook a d1, I put queen b8, Because I realized, okay, if I manage to win this b2 pawn, then this position becomes a lot more complicated. I do realize that I'm giving up a rook for that I'm 2 pieces for a rook, but I figured that, okay, even though this might happen and he's probably still completely winning here, at least I have a lot of counterplay on this b file, and I can try to create something, especially with this passed a pawn that I'm gonna have if I win this b pawn. And that's exactly what happened. And now keep in mind here that I was playing extremely fast, and I was putting a lot of pressure on my opponent. And that was one of the reasons why I was able to kind of swindle this game, was because I was playing very fast and I forced my opponent to play his moves at an abnormally fast rate because he was running really low on time. He spent a lot of time thinking how the best way to solve all these problems. But it wasn't exactly that it was a hard problem, but it does require a lot of thinking on what to do here exactly, because the position is already very convoluted. So even though I didn't play the best moves, I tried to play the moves that gave my opponent the most problems. So you don't really have to play the engine moves when you're trying to defend a position. You just have to play the moves that you see that your opponent is going to have an issue dealing with. So as long as you play moves that have threats in the future and that complicate the position and don't make the position like super clear, like transposing into a completely winning endgame, and have some chances for you to make some comeback. Like for me, why is this position so complicated? Because this a pawn can potentially march all the way down the board and queen, and I have this rook that, combined with the queen on the b file, can potentially make it all the way to the back rank and start causing some problems here. So that's what they play bishop f1, so I don't get rook b1 with tempo, and I can't start bringing my queen down to the first rank and start attacking the king from behind. Now I played king h8 because I was anticipating bishop c5, and I thought that I had to play king h8 because after bishop c5, any move I make with my rook, queen takes f7 would be completely winning. Now here, actually, I did see queen e8, which is apparently a really good move because I'm trading this queen. It's almost a forced trade. So after takes, this a pawn is actually free to run. And originally, I was just trying to play fast, so I didn't really think much. But I thought, okay, there might be a chance that this bishop can hold, right? I was thinking, okay, maybe bishop c5, but apparently not. Apparently, I'm able to get some kind of counterplay, like perhaps like this. But I didn't really see all this, so I was just trying to play fast and keep all the pieces on the board to keep it very complicated. And I was trying to push my a3 pawn. That was my main goal. So after bishop c5, very logical, attacking the rook, I played rook g8, and queen takes f7 happened. So this is where I decided that now I had to play something immediately, because f5 is coming. After they play f5, they're gonna try to play, something like e6, reroute the bishop to d4, and completely destroy this g7 pawn. And if that happens, I'm completely lost. So I wanted to kind of distract all of his pieces from coordinating together and set up my own attack. And that's why I played a3, because you can't really allow this pawn to keep on pushing. So, my opponent had very low time, around like couple seconds actually. Just took this pawn to keep it safe. And now I can try to get in my queen into the position. And if they play king h1, I go queen f2, and now all of a sudden I'm the one winning this position. So they're forced to play rook d4, and now they don't have this very strong battery on the 7th rank, and they can't. And now my rook is kind of free to do whatever. So I played rook b3 here because I wanted to win this pawn. I wanted to attack the bishop simultaneously, and I thought, okay, if I get this pawn, then the rook is going to be under attack, and all is good. So queen e7, rook takes, and okay, now it's equal material, and I have 2 passed pawns, and it's very difficult for white to deal with. So bishop c5, unpinning, and now I'm in the back rank. So now it's becoming more and more difficult to defend for white, because now if I get to play rook c1, it's pretty much game over. There's no way to really stop me from taking on f1. So they played rook d8, counterattacking my rook on g8, and now if I play rook c1, takes, and queen e8, checkmate. So I do not want that to happen. So I played h6, so I have a square for my king to move after rook takes g8, which happened, and queen takes. Now, although I did lose this pawn, luckily my queen here covers this diagonal, so there's not really much that can happen. So I'm threatening to play rook c1 next. Now here f5 happened, and f5 seemed like a logical move. Here, maybe trying to play queen g6 and f6, but this was a blunder, because now after rook c1, it is actually a complete draw here, because there is no way for you to defend this bishop. Now you have to play queen g6. There's no other choice really. The queen g6, I just repeat moves. There's nothing you can do. You can try, but there's no way you can defend this bishop. Any move you play, this bishop is hanging. So you can, this seems to be the only move, but this is hanging the queen. And if I play h3, I just take this, and I'm taking this next. So he basically blundered with this move f5. This move, queen b6, was supposed to be the best move to give the most chances. But after queen e4, it is still unclear what this position entails, because now this pawn's hanging. I'm threatening rook c1, potentially queen e2, and it's still very complicated and almost anyone's game here. White probably still winning somehow because they just have the bishop pair and the king, and they have all the pawns. But it is still, with low time, it's anyone's game, and it's a lot better than the alternative, which would have been a slow death in the game. So this is what I mean by complicating the position. You got to make sure you play moves that force your opponent to take some time to think and doesn't make their life easy. You want to make their life as hard as possible. It's inevitable that you're not going to see the engine moves or all the engine moves, but as long as you play moves that make your opponent's life as difficult as possible, that's how you get that swindle win, because eventually they're bound to make a mistake, whether it be on low time or whether they just don't see the next continuation, best continuation. And that's basically what happened in this game. So as long as you keep on fighting and keep on making these complications in this position and counterattacks, you will be able to get some chances in a lot of your games. Now that we've gone over how you can swindle your opponents, let's see why we ourselves get swindled, and that is overconfidence. Now, as I mentioned before, overconfidence, it keeps our guard down, and we make subpar moves because of that, and these subpar moves accumulate until we make a blunder or a big mistake, and this happens to everyone, including me. Now, in one of my games, I was playing a much lower rated player, and I made a really stupid move because I was super overconfident since I was completely winning. And that caused me to lose all my advantage, and the game ended in a draw. So I'll show you that game right now. So in this position, I was white. I clearly have the advantage here. I have the bishop pairs, and I have the rooks both on the open file. And even though he has a pawn, I have a large kingside attack. So I played queen d4, he played king b8. I played a4 to try to go b5, and he played queen e8, and I played b5. So this is all normal. And here I just stopped calculating. I just wanted to crash through, right? So after a takes, I really foolishly played a takes b5 because I thought he didn't have anything. But here bishop takes is actually the best try, because after takes, rook takes, queen takes, a takes, now there is no queen c5 that happened in the game, because here in the game queen c5 happened. And even though I calculated all of this, I thought for some reason I was winning. But in this case, even here, there's no way for black to trade my queen, and I have to be crashing through, especially with rook a1 and queen a7. So here queen c5 was played, which I saw, but I missed some very simple moves after this. So I took queen takes, knight takes, bishop c5, and I played takes, and I thought rook c1, and I thought I was winning this c6 pawn. But yeah, silly me, knight d3 just forks both my rooks and the bishop. And I saw it already here that rook c1 was getting forked. But if I saw knight d3 from ahead of time, I would have never taken the queen here. I'd have probably moved away and continued on this attack. But since I was so overconfident, I just thought I was completely winning. I just stopped calculating, turned my brain off. And that's basically how I ended up in this situation. And here is just a perpetual check. My knight and my rook is hanging, and I have to give some sort of perpetual, and we agree to a draw here. This is why overconfidence really leads to a lot of problems when you're completely winning. And for the defensive side, it's a good thing psychologically, because they have the edge and they can have a higher probability of coming back into the game. Just remember that the job isn't done until you deliver that checkmate. So make sure that you're staying vigilant at all times and calculate the hardest, even if you're winning. Now, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you were able to turn those losing positions into drawn wins and keep those winning positions and from blundering them. Now, thank you for watching, and a lot of you have requested for me to make another video on how I trained in chess, so that's what I'm going to be doing next, and I'm going to be posting that soon, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See you later.